Hi guys, so this is a lesson on how to divide polynomials, and this is still in chapter 3. This is section 3.4, and it's called dividing polynomials. There's two methods of division that we're going to learn, and today we're going to start with long division. So I'm going to bring it back to just long division of regular numbers because we want to make sure we know how to deal with regular numbers before we try polynomials because it's the same exact process. So let's just do a little refresher on long division of regular numbers here. So if we have 65 divided by 5, that's where we write it like this, right? 5 is this number out front. Here's my division bar, and then 65 is in here. Remember the process we go through. So we say 5 goes into 6. How many times? 1 time. So then I put this 1 here. Then we do multiplication. So then I do 1 times 5, and I get this 5. Then we do subtraction. So then I do 6 minus 5, and I get 1. And then we bring down the 5. And then we do it all over again. 5 goes into 15. Another way I like to think about it is 5 times what gives me 15 is 3. So then 3 times 5 is 15. I do subtraction again, 0. There's nothing left for me to bring down, so 0 is my remainder, and my answer is 13. Here's my answer at the top. So let's just go and kind of jot down some of these steps. So, because remember, they're the same exact steps that we're going to use for long division of polynomials, expressions with variables and everything. So we want to make sure we know these steps. First step is it's like that goes into step, right? How many 5 goes into 6? My next step is we're going to write it out top, right? And then we're going to do multiplication. And then my third step, that's when we do subtraction, right? I do 1 times 5 is 5. Then we do subtraction. And then this is a step we forget a lot. We have to remember to bring down, and then we start over, right? 5 goes into 15 how many times? 3. Then I multiply, subtract, bring down. So let's remember these same steps because now we're going to go into 3-4, dividing polynomials. So let's get some vocab going here. The number under the division symbol is called the dividend. The number I'm dividing into the dividend is called the divisor. And then my answer, that's what gets written up top here, the quotient. So here, the quotient was 13. That's my answer to a division problem. So let's take a look at this first example. We want to do p of x, and here's the d of x. D of x is my divisor, and p of x is my dividend. And I need to divide d of x, x plus 3, into this whole polynomial, x cubed plus 5x squared plus 6x plus 9. Big division here, right? We can do this. So we need to set it up with my divisor out front and my dividend under the division bar, okay? And we're going to go step by step. So remember, the first thing we did over here was doing this goes into step, right? 5 goes into 6. Same thing we're going to do over here. But let's try to remember that when we do this, we're only going to focus on x, the first term, this x term, and the x cubed. We can ignore everything else. So how many times does x go into x cubed? Remember, we're going to think about it like this, right? Just like we did over here. 5 times what gives me 15? I'm going to think about x times what gives me x cubed. And what's that going to be? X times x squared is going to be x cubed. What we do with this is we start it in our quotient, right? And where I'm going to put it is above my other x squared. So even though I worked with this x cubed over here, I'm going to keep all of my variables lined up. That's really important. Once I write a number up top, Remember what we do after we do goes into? We multiply. So now we're going to go ahead and multiply this x squared by both parts of our divisor. Okay, so how we're going to do that? We're going to do x squared times x. That's going to give me x cubed. And then I'm going to do x squared times 3. That's going to give me 3x squared. Again, notice all of my variables are lined up with like terms. What was after multiplication? After multiplication, we need to remember to subtract. These parentheses are really important because I don't want to just put this subtraction here. I also need to remember to subtract it over here. So I'm going to have x cubed minus x cubed. That gives me 0, right? That's nothing. And then here's where it gets tricky. This isn't 5x squared plus 3x squared. That's why I put these parentheses so I can remember it's 5x squared minus 3x squared. 5x squared minus 3x squared is going to give me 2x squared. After we subtract, remember to bring down. My next term is 6x. And then remember, I start all the way over. Just like before, I focused with the first term. Remember, I did x times what gives me x cubed. I'm still looking at my first term. X times what is now going to give me x squared. That's what I write on the side. So x times what do I need to multiply x by to get x squared, 2x squared? I need to multiply by 2, and I need another x, right? X times x gives me the x squared, and I need this 2. Perfect. Then we start over. We put that up here, right? 2x. Anytime I have a number over here, it goes in my quotient. Then we start our multiplication. 2x to the x, and the 2x to the 3, okay? 2x times x gives me 2x squared. 2x times 3 gives me 6x. After we multiply, we subtract. So I need to have my parentheses and subtraction sign. So then we're going to continue. 2x squared minus 2x squared. Notice this first term will always be 0. It won't always happen in the next time. It just so happens here. 6x minus 6x gives me 0. Just a coincidence. After we subtract, we bring down. I bring down the 9. So here's where we're actually done, because my next step would be x times what is going to give me 9. Well, that's impossible, right? I can't multiply a variable by something to get just to get a number. So that's how I know I'm done, when I can't continue and restart. So that 9 is my remainder, okay? So once we have that, we can write our final answer. Remember before, our answer is our quotient, what's up top. Okay, so how we're going to write our answer is I'm going to have the quotient, x squared plus 2x. So that's the first part, plus my remainder, which is 9, over my divisor. That's how we write our final answer. Divisor. Okay, if you want to write that out like this, go for it. So when I did this division, it equals my quotient plus my remainder over my divisor. And this is the form that we want to write all of our final answers in after we do a division problem. Okay, it's a lot of steps. The more we practice, the more we're going to get it. I know you can all get this. So thank you for staying with me and watching this video. The next video, I'm going to talk about how to do long division again. There's one little thing that sometimes we have to catch ourselves doing before we do a problem. So please watch the next video because there's a little twist to the next problem. You guys can do this. I know you can do it. Awesome job, guys. Thank you so much.